Welcome to the Reading Circle, where we share honest reviews, practical summaries, and timeless insights from best-selling books. If you enjoy learning and love books, do support us by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. Let's dive in.
Welcome to the deep dive. Every single day it feels like we're just drowning in information, right? Headlines, notifications, updates all the time.
Oh, absolutely. It's constant.
Yeah, and it's so easy to get overwhelmed, maybe assume the worst, and honestly just get things wrong about what's actually happening out there. But what if a lot of those gut feelings we have about global trends, the big picture stuff, are just, wrong based on data?
That's a powerful question.
So today, let's unpack this. Our mission here is really to give you a clearer lens, maybe a more factual way to look at global issues.
Good goal.
We're digging into Factfulness, 10 reasons we're wrong about the world and why things are better than you think. It's by Hans Rosling, along with Ola Rosling and Anna Rosling-Runland.
A landmark book, really.
Totally. And it's not just stats, right? It's like a tool to challenge these ideas we have stuck in our heads. A way for you to get genuinely well-informed, not just, meaning well.
Right. And what's fascinating here is how needed this is, especially now. We're swimming in info, but also, let's be honest, a lot of misinformation too.
True.
Rosling doesn't just throw data at you. He shows how our own minds, our natural biases, actually twist how we see things. He basically argues these mental shortcuts make the world look way more dangerous, more split apart, and honestly more hopeless than the facts suggest it really is.
That idea, the distorted view, it really hits home. It makes you think, well, if the data's out there, why do so many of us, even people who follow this stuff closely, get it wrong?
Yeah. That's the kicker, isn't it?
So it's not about being smart or dumb, you're saying. What is it then? Why do even well-informed people miss the mark so often?
Well, this is where Rosling was so brilliant. He identified these 10 common human instincts. Think of them like mental traps, almost hardwired cognitive shortcuts.
Okay.
It's not about intelligence. It's about how our brains evolved to quickly process things, which, it doesn't always work well in today's complex world.
Right, like outdated programming.
Exactly. These instincts don't just cloud the picture. They actively build a version of reality that, it isn't quite accurate. Recognizing them is the first big step.
That feels huge, just knowing they exist. So can you walk us through a couple of the main ones? How do they actually affect how we see things day to day?
Absolutely. Let's tackle, say, 3 big ones. First up, the fear instinct.
Okay, fear. Makes sense.
We all know the saying, if it bleeds, it leads in the news. Yeah.
Definitely.
Rosling basically shows how our inbuilt focus on scary, dramatic stuff doesn't just sell papers or clicks. It genuinely warps our sense of real risk. We focus on, a plane crash, but ignore the much bigger, quieter killer like, say, diabetes or air pollution improvements.
Right, the dramatic versus the systemic.
Precisely. And this constant focus on threats, it doesn't just make the world feel scarier. It actually uses up our mental energy. We're less likely to notice or engage with the slow, steady progress that's actually happening.
That's subtle but powerful. Reacting versus understanding. Okay, what else?
Then there's the gap instinct. This is a big one. It's our tendency to divide everything into 2 groups. Rich versus poor, developed versus developing, us versus them.
Oh, yeah, we do that all the time.
All the time. And Rosling just demolishes this idea with data. He shows the world isn't 2 separate lumps. Most people, billions of people, are actually in the middle.
So it's more of a spectrum.
Exactly. A continuous spectrum of income, health, education. By sticking to this black and white view, we completely miss the huge convergence happening, the massive improvements across the board. It makes us feel more divided than we are.
I can see that. It simplifies things, but wrongly.
Terribly wrongly. And it hides the interconnectedness, the shared progress.
Okay, fear, gap. What's the third one?
The negativity instinct. This is our natural pull towards bad news. We tend to think things are constantly getting worse.
Guilty as charged sometimes. The headlines don't help.
I definitely don't. Our brains evolved to spot threats, right?
Yeah.
Survival instinct. But today, that means we latch on to bad news and often completely miss the long-term positive trends.
Like what kind of trends?
Well, think about disasters. We hear about one earthquake or flood, and our minds jump to, the world is falling apart. But actually, the data shows deaths from natural disasters have fallen dramatically over the decades.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. It's not about denying problems exist, obviously. But this constant focus on the negative, it doesn't just make us sad, it can actually paralyze us. We miss seeing solutions that are already working.
Wow.
So yeah, these instincts, they feel natural, but they actively stop you, the listener, from seeing the full, true picture of how the world is developing. It's like wearing distorted glasses all the time.
It almost sounds too simple, just 10 instincts. But you're right, I'm already thinking about news stories I've read. That fear thing, focusing on the scary headline. It's like our brains are still looking for that lion in the grass, even though the danger landscape has totally changed.
That's a great analogy.
So if these instincts are so powerful and misleading, what's the counter-narrative? What's the reality Rosling reveals with his data?
Well, that's the core of factfulness. And it's optimistic, yes, but also deeply realistic. The message is clear. In many, many crucial ways, the world is actually getting better.
Okay, I'm listening. Better how?
He uses just tons of solid data. For instance, the incredible decline in extreme poverty.
We hear about that, but is it really that significant?
Hugely significant. We're talking about billions, literally billions of people lifted out of the worst poverty over the last few decades. It's maybe one of the biggest, quietest transformations in human history.
Billions. Wow.
And another huge one, global life expectancy. People are living longer, healthier lives pretty much everywhere. That's down to better medicine, sanitation, food, education, fundamental stuff.
That's a pretty undeniable positive sign.
Absolutely. And think about access to education and healthcare. More kids, especially girls, are in school than ever before. Basic healthcare is reaching more and more people. These are foundations for future progress.
Okay, so poverty down, life expectancy up, education and healthcare expanding.
Right. Huge strides.
So why don't we feel it more? Why doesn't this seem to be the main story?
Well, Rosling brings it right back to those instincts we just talked about. We tend to oversimplify, right? And we focus on the dramatic stuff, the earthquake, the political crisis, not the slow, steady, incremental progress.
The quiet progress gets drowned out.
Completely drowned out. A famine hits the news, but the decades-long trend of plummeting child mortality across a continent, almost invisible. So if we connect this to the bigger picture, understanding this overlooked progress, it fundamentally changes how we see where humanity is heading. It gives a more balanced view and, crucially, shows what strategies are actually working.
That makes sense. It gives you hope, but based on facts, not just wishful thinking. But it's still hard to square with some headlines. Does Rosling talk about, things that are getting worse in some places or inequalities?
Oh, absolutely. And that's key. He's not saying everything is perfect.
Right.
Far from it.
Right. So how does he make this case so compellingly? What makes the book work so well at changing minds?
Well, a few things stand out. First, his incredible skill at making data accessible. He takes really complex global stats and just makes them understandable, uses visuals, stories.
Yeah, I've seen some of his charts online, the bubble charts.
Exactly, those moving charts. Genius. He lets you see the trends, like how the gap between nations has shrunk without needing a PhD in statistics. You feel like you get it.
So it empowers you to understand the data yourself.
And data literacy for everyone. Second, the book is just full of eye-opening insights. It really makes you question your assumptions, not just with opinion, but with cold, hard facts that force you to say, maybe what I thought was true isn't. You have these genuine aha moments. It gives you a fresh perspective.
A paradigm shift, like you said earlier.
Yeah. And finally, it strikes that balance. Optimistic but realistic. He doesn't ignore real problems. Poverty, disease, climate change, they're all there.
Okay.
But he frames them within the context of the progress made and the challenges still ahead. It's not about being naive. It's about being fact-based. And that ultimately helps us figure out where to focus our efforts more effectively.
That balance feels really important, like a needed correction to just doom and gloom. But, okay, no book is perfect, right? Even one this influential. We should probably unpack this a bit more. What are some criticisms or maybe limitations that people point out?
That's fair and important for thinking critically. While it's hugely acclaimed, a couple points do come up. One is sometimes about the repetitive structure.
How so?
Well, because it's built around those 10 instincts, each chapter kind of follows a similar pattern. Introduce instincts, show data, explain this conception. If you read it straight through, some people find that a little formulaic or repetitive.
I could see that. Hammering the point home may be a bit too much for some.
Possibly, yeah. The points are powerful, but the structure can feel a bit samey chapter to chapter.
Okay. Anything else?
The other point, maybe more of a nuance, is whether there's an overemphasis on optimism sometimes.
Okay. Like downplaying the bad stuff.
Not exactly ignoring it, but some critics feel that certain really urgent issues, maybe climate change is the big example, or specific political crises or deep inequalities, might not get the same level of urgent focus as the positive long-term trends.
So the balance might feel slightly off to some readers.
Potentially, yeah. The overall message is so focused on things are better that some worry it might slightly lessen the perceived urgency of current, very real threats. Which, this raises an important question. How do you strike that perfect balance? How do you celebrate the amazing progress we've made without minimizing the serious work still left to do?
Right. Acknowledging progress shouldn't lead to complacency.
Exactly. It's about holding both truths.
Yeah.
Things have got much better in many ways, and the serious problems demand our full attention right now. It's about nuance.
That's a crucial point. So thinking about the whole book, as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the absolute core value you think people should take away from Factfulness? What's the big shift it offers you, the listener?
I think it's fundamentally an invitation. An invitation to swap a worldview driven by fear and assumptions for one based on facts.
Moving from instinct to insight.
Precisely. By really getting a handle on these instincts, fear, negativity, the gap instinct, all 10 Fox, you gain this incredibly useful mental toolkit. It helps you filter the news better, question your own automatic reactions, and just see the world more clearly. Not how it feels, maybe, but how the evidence suggests it actually is.
That's incredibly valuable. It really does sound like a must-read for anyone interested in the world and education, or honestly, just anyone trying to be a clearer thinker today.
It really is a guide to navigating this messy information world with a calmer, more objective mind.
Yeah.
And Factfulness, it's not just a book of facts. It's really a call for intellectual humility, for staying curious. So maybe a final thought to leave you with.
Okay.
Building on what Rosling showed us, how might understanding these instincts better change how you look at the news this week, or how you approach a challenge? If you recognize these biases in yourself, could that help you see things more clearly? Maybe even act more effectively in your own life or just in understanding the world. It's powerful stuff.
Definitely something to chew on. Seeing the world factfully.
It's a constant practice. The world is often better than we think, but it's still complex, still fragile, and it always, always deserves our fact-based attention.